Hello, my name is Fred Dengler. I'm co-founder of the Mikal Corporation, and today we're going to talk about how to set up services and track services in the Mikal Salon and Spa Management software program. First, we're on our splash screen, and it's so important to track services because if we know what our services are in detail, we can look at things like who our top customers are. We can know who our top employees are in service sales, total sales, average ticket, sales by every service category, all of those different things. And even down to the demographics of knowing on a daily basis what we're doing in service totals, the numbers in dollars, how many voids, refunds. So we've got to put our services into the database. If you don't have our system now, one thing you'll find that I think you'll really like is we take your menu and help you build those core services so that you don't have to sit there with a computer figuring out how to build these things. So we'll give you a really good jump start, build out your menu with you. And then, of course, we're always available to go in and help you fine-tune those services, especially in the way that you book those services, which is something I'm going to show you today, too, called prototypes, which it's called a prototype because when you book a service, there's a prototypical way that we think there is to book the service. So let me continue, go on into the program. And our services are created up in the inventory system, which might seem different to you, but our inventory includes retail products, professional products, and our service menu. So let me go into inventory and just bring up a service. You have a code for every service that you have. This one's Haircut Women. And here we've got that. It says it's S for service. It goes into a category. So again, we can track your services for your business and also for every employee, and up to 20 different service categories, and also subcategory codes as well. If you want to pay a different commission by service, you can do that. If you have some people that are on special commission programs like contract employees, you can set all of that up that ties our services into your payroll program. And then you have your price level. Something here that's interesting, and this goes back to your appointment book, is this allowed to be overbooked? Well, a haircut really can't be overbooked because you've got to be hands-on with that customer when you're cutting their hair. But something like a hair color where you might have an assistant or where you might apply the color and then go and do another service while it's processing, you could set up to be overbooked. Then 0.50 is the estimated service time. 0.50 is a half an hour. 1.0 is an hour. 1.50 is an hour and a half. And then if you have an item deduction, which is a program in payroll that will take the cost of product off the top before you pay commission, you can put that in here as well. $12 seems a little high for an item deduction unless you're funding assistance and service assistance, different things like that, besides just the product. So an item deduction is what do we have to spend to service that customer besides our regular overhead that we have and the commissions or compensation that we're going to pay our staff. So let's put in a item deduction that might make more sense there, and then we update that. So this is the basic inventory maintenance. You can build this right in your graphical user interface, Mikal 7. Aside from this, though, we've got a much deeper build of these services, and that ties into the way that you book the appointment. So let me cancel that. And then in our admin version, you see you've got a lot more information. Now, we don't need all of this for services. This is for building. This is one screen that builds services, retail, professional products. And when we pick the type of item that it is, you'll see a lot of these fields will just disappear. So let's say we're going to add an item. I come down here to add, and we're going to call this bang for bang trim. Oh, it says we already have this. Well, let me cancel the add of this item and just bring it up for you. So here's our bang trim. And you see it's changed it automatically to being a service item. It's in the cutting category. We have it set up to overbook, which is secondary. You can set it up to overbook, or you can set it up to be a single customer, single service time slot in your appointment book. By overbooking, it means I might do complimentary bang trims if somebody gets their hair cut from me. So I just bring them in, have an extra chair that I set them in, do a quick bang trim while I'm doing other services. Then you've got the estimated service time, 0.25 is 15 minutes, and then we charge $22 for the bang trim here. So that's the basic setup of the bang trim. Over here you've got your sales history, so you can see for the overall business, week to date last week, month to date last month, quarter to date last quarter, year to date and last year, the numbers and the dollars and the cost of goods that have been involved in doing a bang trim. You can also track professional products. Not so important for a bang trim, but down here, if you had color services, or especially if you have skincare services where certain products come out of inventory automatically, you can track what products are used in a deep cleansing facial versus an exfoliating facial versus whatever type of facial that you're doing. So we help you set all of this up in the system itself. Once it's set up, then it all processes through the point of sale system, and pretty much that's how it works. Now let's go ahead and add an item in here that I know we don't have right now. So what we're going to do is just call it a trim, and we'll go ahead and put it in as a trim, and this will be a trim short hair. Now watch here, when I change it to service, it's going to change the screen for us to just a service screen. It wants to know if this is under cutting or under one of our other sales categories, and we're going to keep it under cutting. And then, can we overbook this? I'm going to say no. Estimated service time for a trim, let's say, is a half an hour, so that'd be 0.50. And then the sell price for a trim is going to be $35. And if that's okay, we okay it. And then it says, do you want to add a prototype? Now, earlier in the video, I mentioned that you book your services in a prototypical way. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes to that. And then it comes up and says it's a trim. It's going to be short hair, no overbooking. It's going to be 2 time slots in our 15-minute per slot appointment book, which you see over here on the side. And then personnel resource. Who is going to do these types of trim services? And here's where you can exclude people. This is really great, because if somebody calls up and says, I just need a quick trim, and you don't know who to put them with, the system will only show you people who are available in the appointment book that can do the trim. So I don't want my massage therapist or my nail techs to do this. I only want my hair people. So I go ahead and I select hair people only, and I've set up a group for that. I don't need a physical resource. But if this was, let's say, a pedicure, and you had 4 nail techs and only 1 pedicure chair, you could specify that pedicure chair. Once that pedicure chair is booked in the system, the other nail techs can't do a pedicure, so you don't overbook your physical resources. If you have 1 waxing room, if you have 1 facial room and multiple people who can do facials or waxing, it'll make sure that you don't overbook your rooms, which a lot of times we don't have a problem double booking and triple booking an employee, but we've got a real problem where our room is overbooked and we've got to shuffle things around. And then what card do we want to print? This will print a card on a work ticket or a traveler if you want. And for this, I'm just going to print technical notes on the customer. And then is this the last part of the appointment? If I say okay to that, it goes ahead and builds that in, so I can now book that trim. So I can go out of that part of the system and then go into the system itself and book my next appointment. That's the way that you set up your services in the system. It's easy to do. Give us a call if you have any questions, 513-528-5100. Or if you want to get going on the Mikal system, give us a call on our marketing line, 800-448-5420. Again, that's the Mikal Corporation. My name's Fred Dangler, and I want to thank you for your time here today.